Hello fellow mutants, welcome back to another video, and in this video I'm finally going to talk about Mandalorian Season 2, Episode 3. And so far, I gotta say, this has to be the best episode in the season. Debatedly the best episode of the entire series so far. So we pick up practically where we left off in episode 2. Mando, Baby Yoda, and the Lizard Lady with their unborn younglings. They're still on a planet that Mando has promised to deliver the Frog Lady, which is I'm trying to remember the name. Jump cut time. Yeah, it's called Mon Calamari. I don't know why I had a brain fart there. And the Frog Lady was able to reunite with her husband. They did not show her reaction to how she felt with the eggs that were lost. My theory is that, yeah, she might have been saddened and maybe upset that her eggs were gone. Some of her eggs were gone. But she was more grateful that some of the eggs were still around. And she was more grateful of that, to the point where she didn't make big of a fuss about the missing eggs. Because I'm willing to bet you, she probably also figured she probably got some in the chase of the cave spiders in the last episode. That's my theory. I could be wrong. If I am, I don't have any issues admitting I'm wrong. But that's my theory at the moment. Up until I'm proven wrong, I'm gonna go with that. And then I think Sasha Banks was in here as one of Bo-Katan's people. The other girl, another jump cut. Yeah, Sasha Banks was the other Mandalorian. I do not know the other person's names, but she's that mysterious female figure with a hood in the trailers. And I actually gotta say, Bo-Katan and her sidekicks was great, especially Bo-Katan, who I didn't know was the same actress who played her in the Clone Wars or Rebels. The only thing that I can say that I've seen the actress in who played Bo-Katan in before, like with my own eyes, before Mandalorian this episode, is The Flash, when she played Amunet. And her acting as Amunet might be like kind of cheesy in a goofy sense. She was more serious, and her I was like a whoa, like I don't know why, but I like you better as Bo-Katan than Amunet, even though Amunet is more fun than Bo-Katan. I'm torn. I am torn. Don't judge me. But yeah, the whole reason Bo-Katan is in this episode is so she can confiscate this Imperial ship to get weapons to eventually take back Mandalore from the remnants of the Empire, from what I'm guessing. If any of the Empire is still there, because I'm guessing the Empire left Mandalore because Mando said nobody has been there in a while. The Empire made sure of that there will be no ruler. The planet is cursed. And Bo-Katan said, yeah, no, don't believe everything they hear. And I just like his reaction too, Mando's reaction when Bo-Katan and her uh, partners took off their helmets. And this was after they saved him and Baby Yoda. And I'm liking in this episode that they address the whole helmet thing. Because that was my one criticism in the last season. Is that I don't mind the whole helmet situation, but we need an explanation, a good one too, to justify the whole. We never really seen Mando's face outside of like the one episode. And in this episode we did, it's just a religion thing where Mando was raised under, that it was tradition never to take off your helmet. It'll be interesting in season 3 if we, or at the end of season 2, if we see Mando taking off his helmet, saying, yeah, fuck that religion, I'm taking off this helmet. Just as a good character development, like Mando fully embracing the whole Mandalorian type deal. Because I do believe that Darth Maul had changed some things under his role when he was the Duchess, or whatever the proper term, the ruler of Mandalore. And that could have been one of them. And I do like how I wish, my only complaint about this episode is I wish this episode was a bit longer so we can see more of Bo-Katan. Because I never really pay attention closely to her in Clone Wars or Rebels. But regardless, she's still a pretty good character. Even when she infiltrates that ship with her 2 sidekicks and Mando, I could tell that she was still a badass, like when we saw her in the Clone Wars and Rebels. And I like when she was saying, "Where's the black saber?" The Imperial Guard said, "If you don't kill me, he will." And then does this thing where he bites off this electrical tooth that makes him kill himself. And how Bo-Katan said, if you ever want to join us, the offer will always be open. Leaving that door open for Bo-Katan to possibly come back in season 3. Who knows? Maybe that could be like the ultimate storyline for season 3. Is like Mando joining Bo-Katan and her lackeys in taking back Mandalore. And maybe that's part of the reason why we're going to get Ahsoka later on, so we can have this epic lightsaber fight between Ahsoka and Moff Gideon. I think that's his name, Moff Gideon. Of course, Ahsoka probably will most likely win. I feel like she has the advantage with using the Force. And speaking of Ahsoka, even though she's not in this episode, she was mentioned. Because Mando said, "Where can I find the Jedi?" Because before this, he said, "I don't know much about the Jedi. I was hoping you would know." We don't only get too much on details of what the Jedi are, even though if you've seen the first 6 Star Wars movies, you will have a pretty good idea what the Jedi are. Especially the prequels. If you catch the prequels and the Clone Wars, both versions of the Clone Wars show, and Rebels, you will have a pretty good idea what the Jedi are and what they are capable of. The original trilogy, the only Jedi really is Luke. I mean, you can say Obi-Wan and Yoda, but like, yeah, Obi-Wan at first, and throughout the original trilogy, you can see some things that they can do. It's in that, even in the sequels, it was kind of slightly hinted at, but the prequels and the Clone Wars, both series, and Rebels showcases a bit more of what the Jedi can do. Even though Rebels only had like 2 Jedi lead, still. So, I do like how Bo-Katan said, go to this planet, I forget which planet precisely, and find Ahsoka Tano, and say Bo-Katan sent you. So that leaves me the question, because Ahsoka Tano left the Jedi Order because they kicked her out, she was done dirty by them, it's understandable. And her last interaction with the Jedi of the Clone Wars, she said to to Yoda when Yoda said, "You did well in the in service of the Jedi," and she said, "I was just doing my duty as a citizen, not as a Jedi, not yet." And I like that still hold that Ahsoka still had her frustrations, rightfully so, with the Jedi Council. I mean, if I was accused of something I did not do, then get kicked out of the order, and then they said, "Oh yeah, you can come back in," I was like, "Screw you, bye, Felicia." I mean, I would still work alongside them, but I wouldn't say I'm one of them after that. So I understand where Ahsoka's coming from. And then in Rebels, he does mention to Ezra Bridger and Kanan Jarrus when they go to the Jedi Temple on Lothal that she's not a Jedi. She left on her own choice. So my question is, because Ahsoka in season 7 and Clone and Rebels Ahsoka wasn't, I don't really consider a Jedi, maybe a great Jedi or Force sensitive that still has Jedi values, but I don't really consider her as a Jedi in season 7 Clone Wars or Rebels per se. And she even confirmed that in the episode I was talking about. Since Mandalorians takes place after the events of the original trilogy, so this is after we last saw her in Rebels, because Rebels takes place in between uh Revenge of the Sith and Rogue One / and A New Hope My one question is, and this probably will get answered in the episode we'll see her in, is Ahsoka a Jedi? Does she start off the Jedi? Because I'm pretty sure Luke Skywalker doesn't really go dive into Jedi teachings heavily until Ben Solo, his nephew, turns like at least 15 and takes him and a handful of students off to the Jedi Temple to learn the ways of the Force. I mean, that's Luke kind of hinted that in the Last Jedi, but which is why I'm saying I don't think he'll be heavy-handed or as devoted to learning the Jedi, to bring back the Jedi until like his nephew was at least 15, maybe 16. And since it's 5 years after the events of Return of the Jedi, I think, yeah, Luke is still dedicated to the Jedi Order. He wants to bring back the Jedi Order, but I don't think that's his main focus at the moment. And yeah, I'm aware that he has trained Leia in the ways of the Force, so maybe he's beginning Leia's Jedi training at this point as well. Look, I'm just saying there's like 30-ish years between Return of the Jedi and The Force Awakens. And Luke, nobody's seen Luke for like what, at least 5 years when we lead up to Return of the Jedi. I mean, The Force Awakens. So we got at least 35 years. 35 years at the very least in the Star Wars universe, where we can see Luke Skywalker going on adventures, going on expeditions. Maybe he doesn't start bring rebooting the Jedi Order right away. Maybe it's Ahsoka is initially starts it, and Luke takes over. And that's my theory for the next when we see Ahsoka. Is that in the next episode, we see Gina Carano's character and the other guy that helped Mando in the last 2 episodes of season 1 of the Mandalorian. And we see at least Gina Carano's character tag along with Mando. And in episode 4, and then in episode 5, we get it where we see Ahsoka. Because I do believe episode 5 has been confirmed. I believe that has been directed by Dave Filoni. So I'm interested in seeing how he will introduce live action Ahsoka. I'm excited to see Rosario Dawson, probably butchered her name, I'm sorry, play her. I only seen Rosario Dawson in Daredevil, and I like her, like in the Defenders, like in the Daredevil, Iron Fist, like in the Netflix Marvel shows, like Daredevil. I think she was in Iron Fist. Luke Cage. I don't think she was in Jessica Jones. She was in the Defenders. So I only seen her in that, and I like her performance. So, as I said, and also in my Kingdom Hearts live stream that I did not too long ago, like it was supposed to 2 days ago, or yesterday, that by the time I record this video, my one concern is for this season is it will focus all the good episodes on the cameo episodes that will rely too heavily on the cameos and not enough on its own. That's my one concern. So far, it has proven me wrong, because I think it's a pretty decent series. It's one of the better things to come out of Disney Star Wars, and I'm excited to see the next week's episode. The episode ends with Mando going to the ship, and he's not exactly entirely happy with the Mon Calamarian's work. And we see some of Admiral Akbar's species on the planet. But Mando just isn't impressed with the work that was done to his ship with the price he paid. And we see them going to space again. And then, like last week's episode, credits. And I feel like it's beginning to be it is like a run-on gag thing, where Mando, like in each episode of The Mandalorian, Mando has ship issues that he needs repairs. Like literally in every single episode. Maybe with the exception of like the first few episodes of the entire series, but after the first few episodes, it's like every episode is, hey, I need help. I need ship repairs. Oh, you need me to do something? Sure, I'll do it. That's how I feel. But I like the performance. I like the acting. The episode was great. Is, in my opinion, like I said, so far the best episode of the season at the moment. And it's my favorite. it's one of my favorite episodes of the series. So, my question to you, like, before I finish, I do also like how she referenced her sister without really saying her name, saying, I'm the last of my family. Like, that also raises the question. Since Septine, when she was alive, in the Clone Wars, she had a nephew who freed her from jail a little bit before Darth Maul killed her in front of Obi-Wan. So if Bo-Katan is the last of her in her hair family, that means either she doesn't know her nephew is alive, or her nephew has died. Since we saw him from that episode I'm referring to from the Clone Wars to that episode in Mandalorian. So then my question will be, what happened to the nephew? With all the reviews I've been seeing for episode 3, I have not seen anyone bring up the nephew. I literally want to know what happened to him, because he is one of my favorite characters of the Clone Wars. He is one of my favorite side characters of the Clone Wars. So I wonder what happened to him. And maybe we'll get that in the rumored Bo-Katan series. And yeah, I've been hearing rumors that we're going to get a Bo-Katan series. And like I said in I think it was one of my videos, if I'm not mistaken, either on this channel or my group channel that I lead, that Lucasfilms has announced so many projects only to not do them or change some plans. So when I hear, oh, like an Ahsoka show is coming, or an Obi-Wan show is coming, or a Boba Fett show is coming, or like a Darth Vader show or movie is coming. Even though we got 3 Darth Vader movies, there's called Attack of the Clones, Phantom Menace, Revenge of the Sith. I'm like, okay, because we get so many announcements that doesn't come to pass. And yes, the Obi-Wan show might be confirmed, and I wish it would have more episodes based on what I've heard. More than 4 or 5 episodes. But at the moment, I'm like, I'm not believing you guys until I see a trailer. So maybe if we get the Bo-Katan show, we'll get my question answered. But anyways, enough speculation. You guys has seen me ramble on about this episode for 23 minutes. So, what do you guys think about the episode? Do you guys like it, dislike it, and what's your favorite part of this episode? Mine has to be Bo-Katan. I wish it was longer. The episode was longer, but that's just me. Let me know what you guys think about the episode. If you guys seen it, down below. Love y'all. Be kind to one another. And may the force be with us all.